how do you know whether or not a painting is successful? Do you judge, is the criteria that I successfully expiated, that's my verbosity, this feeling, this emotion, or is there a formal consideration, or do some paintings not work for you and some do?
Yeah. I don't know much about formal, schooling and going to art school and stuff like that. I've picked up stuff along the way, listening to artists that work in that way, but a successful painting to me is if I really like it, and I like, man, so many things just start flooding on but this and this and this. Even if I like the shitty parts of it that I think are like, man, whatever, that's fine, I'll just leave that. And in a painting, I have fake moves. So I have ego moves that are like I can tell when I'm in a different mind. What am I trying to say? Like a different frame of mind when I make certain moves or use certain colors. Like I know that those are fake. They feel fake to me. And if I really like the end result, then I've made a successful painting. Now, I have people that I take my paintings to. Like there's an artist in Columbia named Warren Green. And rarely does he tell me I have a successful painting. And I love that. I think and I respect what he's saying because he's out there. And, but.
What do you mean by out there?
He's out there. Like, meaning like he is like, he can riff on anything. And he'll really tell me what he's thinking. He was an art professor for like 20 years. So he'll really give it to me, And, but even if he says it's not successful, I'll still use it. I'll still use the painting. There are certain paintings, and I'm sure songs too, that you're like, it's fine. You know what I mean? But there's certain paintings that I'm like, I can tell that I really sunk my soul into it, and I don't give a shit. Like I don't give a shit if somebody likes it, and even more than that. As long as they're talking about it, that sounds good to me. You can talk negative about it. I don't give you can say whatever you want about my painting. I don't care, because the painting is itself. The painting is done. The painting has been exercised. What someone is doing when they're speaking about a piece of artwork is looking into a mirror and speaking about their own process and thinking about their own psychological hangups and training in art or whatever. And I'm not dismissing people that have that training, because God, I wish I did, But then I hear people that are like super art school and they're like, God, I wish I didn't, because I know too much, So I'm real hesitant on like trying to really put templates over my paintings. I wish I could paint better. I wish I could had more technical training, and I could if I took some fucking classes, but I love just fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like whatever your outlet or mode of creation, there's just this interplay between technical proficiency and ignorant thrashing.
Yeah, totally, man.
That exists at every level for every artist at all times.
Yes.
And like when you're a kid and you just have this like yearning to make something, you don't even know what that is. It's just like that's the beginning of that seed. And then it's like you get your guitar musical analogy and you learn how to play, G, and you're just like, I don't know. I'm going to use a different example on a different instrument, but I remember my first musical experience that like was outside of church hymns or whatever, in like a more socialized context, was my parents bought a piano for our family when I was in like in third grade, and the piano showed up, and my mom sat down and she played, that song like. Like it's real easy to play, all white keys, and and the da 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 da. My mom started playing it, and I was just like, "What? Mom knows how to play the piano?"
Yes.
I was just like, I just totally looked at my mom like,
"Who are you?"
Sprouted wings, totally. It just like melted my brain, and I really it set me on fire in a way that has not been put out. I just was like this
beautiful.
This way that people can be is. There's this whole nother way. Anyway, but that, at the very beginning, you're just like, I learned how to play that. Maybe that night she showed me, and I was just like, I can play piano too.
Dude, yes,
and then she taught me to do the left hand part, the accompanying part, and then she did the da, 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 and I was just like, we're playing music together now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was so awesome.
It's like,
that thing. It's like everything that needed to happen in the world musically for me happened right then in that moment.
Man.
But the thing is, you can't duplicate that moment.
Right.
The next time you do it, you're like, oh, it's just that. I know how to do that now. So what else is out there? And this is, to me, what motivates an artistically minded person to get better at their craft, is that it's like the sheen wears off real quick.
Right.
You write a song and I'm in love. Usually my favorite song is the last song I wrote. I'm just like, God, this was, because it did the thing, whatever it is, not all the new songs are the same, but like once in a while you write a song and be like, that's a Corby Lenker song. You can judge me on that.
Totally, man.
That's as good as, this is all I got. This is as good as it, and I'll play it. I'm like, I love that line, whatever it is. I love the melody. And, man, it wears off,
quick,
fourth time you play it or whatever. Right. And so that's appropriate.
What's next?
Like you throw the fish back. Yeah. You cast the pole again. What's next?
Man.
So anyway, it's just but technical or virtuosity or technical achievement is not art. To me, like the YouTube is full of guitar playing virtuosos that leave me dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's the heart.
It's a heart. It's a heart thing. Well, it's about that interplay between just like taking a chance and being vulnerable. And willing to fail and then somehow not failing.
Yeah,
wow.
Right.
That's so cool. But it's almost like after you take the step into the willing to fail, what happens after that is a moot point in a way. It's nicer to win or to have something that you feel is worthy. But I don't know. I feel like you've already, and I say this to myself because I battle this on the daily, this fear of stepping into that vulnerable place, even if I'm by myself. Sure. I'm right, like in this novel right now, this is like this thing that I'm arguably at the end of. And it is, I get closer to the end of it, at least the first draft, is just pulling teeth to get me to sit down
and work on it.
Because I'm so afraid. I'm so fucking afraid.
What are you afraid? Like,
I'm so afraid.
What are you talking about?
I can't do it.
Really?
The same thing. I've always been afraid of the same thing.
Let me ask you this question real quick. Is it the sitting down to like get your mind right, not right, but get your mind in a place where you can be like, I'm sitting down and I'm just gonna put pen to paper. Is that what you're afraid of? Or are you afraid that you're going to do a shitload of work and then you're going to read back and you'll be like, God, that whole shit sucked?
It's more like that.
Okay, got it.
Because most of the time, that's how I feel.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that I'm also just like hyper self-critical.
Sure.
And
understood. That's
a childhood thing, and that's my own stuff. But I think that also is a good thing in a way because it does help you make. I think that critical eye is an important ingredient for making art that's, that maybe translates.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, successful, not whatever, translates. Yeah. And I've also just been like such a book nerd since I was a little kid. And so unfortunately I have an appetite for Russian literature,
Nice.
And once you go to Tolstoy's table, it's like, who the
why
fuck
am I doing anything?
Yeah, why am I doing anything? It's already,
dude,
it's like, okay, I get that. That's true. And this is like this little self-coach thing.
Dude, totally.
And I'm just like, but this is my story and I have a right to try it, and I also not a right. It's just like a joy and a privilege to take a shot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like taking my shot, but now that I'm close to the end of this draft and I'm just like, I am not pleased with the results. And I see ahead of me another year of just such heavy revision to get this going. So anyway, that's what it's very
it's like moving mountains, man.
Yeah. It's with a song, it's like, okay, I'll put my 3 to 5 hours in on this afternoon and see what we come up with. Win, lose, or draw. It's like, that was a good try today.
Yeah, right.
The novel side of it, it's just like, man, this is months of my life. I've got duties. I got paternal duties now.
Big time. Yeah.
So everything is a lot more expensive, and it's like, but I hate thinking like, and I've successfully eluded thinking in that sort of productive
Sure.
mindset for most of my life.
Yeah.
Because you can't sit there and do something as useless as making art while going like, well, I
The
could be
world's falling
investing.
down. I know, dude. I know.
You just got to like push it all away.
Yeah.
And like, but it's always encroaching.
Always. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And maybe as you get older too, and your duties grow, the encroachment comes with it.
Oh, gosh.
Passion.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go ahead and click here to like and subscribe. You can click right there to watch another video, or click here to watch a playlist featuring songs of the Morse Code podcast. Okay, thank you very much.